Alright, so I just finished episode 8. People who tuned into my last review will know I was not a fan of episode 7, but I did enjoy this episode slightly more than the last one, um, just because it was sort of like the last episode was a very almost exact retread of what was happening in that Dragon Ball episode, but this one sort of explores a bit of new territory ish. But once again, it suffers from the why don't they just beat him up problem, which is a problem I've mentioned a few times during this series, and I don't think it'll be the last. And they have to keep having Pan say, we can't beat him up because, he might cause an earthquake. And I'm like, it takes him a few minutes to cause an earthquake. Just go do it quickly, come on. Especially because, Trunks is able to knock him out in one hit this episode. Goku's able to blow up a volcano. It's like, why do these characters think anyone can oppose them? They're, super powerful. But before continuing, I need to mention that, and it was with last episode too, that Trunks dressing up as the bride really reminds me of Team Four Star's Broly adaptation, where Trunks was mistaken for a woman because he had long hair, and it was so I keep getting flashbacks to that, which is a much better time than watching these two episodes, at least. I'll say that. Now, in this episode, we learn that I can't even remember his name. I cannot be bothered to remember names, okay? The antagonist, the big blob guy who's really annoying, by the way. He's not entertaining to watch. I just find him annoying. They find out that he can't actually cause the earthquakes, and he's just predicting them, which is kind of weird because he he always acted like he was causing them, obviously, but I would just wonder what if an earthquake came up when he wasn't ready to have one happen? What if everyone was behaving in perfect accordance, and he was like, oh, I have no reason to cause this earthquake? I don't know, but whatever. May I'm just overthinking that part. There was a bit of Goku nudity in this, which is that's one of those. It's another one of those aspects where it's they're trying to capture that old school Dragon Ball feel, but in this it just came off as kind of awkward to me. So I don't it wasn't it wasn't as handled as well as in Dragon Ball. It's just a bit weird now that we know Goku's 60 years old, I guess. But yeah, it wasn't anything egregious. It was just really weird given everything that's happened, and now we're back to doing this sort of stuff. What I will say is that the volcano erupts, basically, and they have to escape. And there are two moments this time which are actually very reminiscent of Dragon Ball to me. There's Goku performing a Kamehameha underwater, which launches everybody out in order to escape the lava, and that really reminded me of the escape from the pirate cave during the Red Ribbon Army arc. Basically, it was a very similar situation where the cave was collapsing and Goku performed a Kamehameha in order to launch them out. And here, it's lava chasing them down an underwater cave. It's both underwater, it's both, it's very similar. And then, less similar, but sort of, very reminiscent, which this I didn't mind as a callback, which was Goku blowing up the volcano, which reminded me a lot of Master Roshi blowing up Fire Mountain in the early days of Dragon Ball, which both times they like fire a Kamehameha at it and it blows up, and then both of them go, oh, I might have gone a bit overboard with it. And that's a bit of like comedy there. But I don't know what Goku was expecting to do with the Kamehameha. Like, did he expect like anything? Like, how do you not expect the volcano to blow up when you're firing a Kamehameha at it? But I've been trying to gauge how strong Goku is now that he's been reverted back to a kid. And I think that like really there hasn't been much of a change. He's still really powerful, so like I'm gauging some of these feats, so I'm having a hard time believing that he's gonna have trouble fighting opponents. Speaking of opponents, there was a new villain added at the end of this episode, which was this guy. Like a lot of these villains seem to be wearing 80s exercise wear. Am I the only one that noticed that? Like, there were those two henchmen during the Don Kia arc, which were wearing like 80s exercise, like the tight, like fitting, vibrant, like, and now we got this guy. Like, it all just reminds me of like 80s exercise sort of that like women would wear, minus, well, sometimes with like leg warmers or whatever. But yeah, so he just has like telepathy and can change his appearance, and he stole this Dragon Ball. I'm trying to think of what I think of the ending, because like this wasn't the best of episodes. I'm trying to like, you know what I mean? And like there's like, now that I finished watching it, I didn't detest it. I think episode 7 is definitely my least favorite episode so far. But hopefully this is another one of those villains where I'm like, this guy is not going to be a threat, let's be honest. So I'll be interested, because who knows? Maybe I'll really like this villain. Maybe he'll be the top of my list. I doubt it. I am exaggerating. He is not going to be on the top of my list. But we will see, because... Oh, I should mention, what was... The name of the monster in this episode who turned out to be a big wimp. He decided to stay with the village, and it was like, well, you wrapped up that pretty good. He was terrorizing you for how many years, but you'll just take him in, whatever. Like, I expected, like, I don't know. He was just a really annoying character, I gotta be honest. I did not care for him as an antagonist or a side character or anything. I just found him really, really annoying. Especially when he walked in singing, like, the wedding theme song, whatever it is, you know. I was not a fan of him. I am glad that these 2 episodes are over. I'm disappointed that, like, we didn't even get a Dragon Ball out of it, like, but hopefully things will begin to move along. Hopefully things will begin to... I feel bad, okay? Because I feel like I'm saying that a lot. Hopefully things will get better, which implies that the show isn't very good. And there are a lot of people who would agree that the show isn't very good. But I'm not... There's nothing that's like... There's nothing like that I'm egregiously despising. Which, like... I am wondering if my thoughts on certain other franchises are affecting me being easy on GT, you know what I mean? Like, after the Rise of Skywalker, for example, which is just so abominably bad, how can I really be mad at something like GT? So I'm wondering if it's like, you know, something like that. But hopefully, I'm not, like, I'm still, I said I went into this hoping to enjoy myself, and I'm getting a level of entertainment out of it, I suppose. There's no, like, I'm not physically in pain from watching it. I'm not regretting my decisions or anything. I'm still in it for the long haul, so What I will say though is that I'm not I'm not gonna be interested for the rest of this Black. I cannot talk. I will not be interested for the rest of this Black Star Dragon Ball arc. I'm thinking once we get back to Earth, and maybe once it resumes a more, I don't know if they go back to being more of like a Z-ish format, but we'll see what they do. I think I'll get more interest out of that, and I'll I'll wait and see.